What's up, you heathens and demons, you sinners and saints, you beautiful, blasphemous people? Welcome back to Seeing Red. I'm Nakasuchi. I'm not feeling too good today, and we're going to be talking about the coronavirus. So, yay. What's up, Allie?
Hey guys, yeah, I woke up with a fever and a bit of chest congestion myself this morning. I had some pretty bad vocal fry, and sometimes it feels like I'm talking through waters. Um, I'm pretty sure that it's whatever my husband had. Anybody who follows what's going on in our Discord, my husband went in, he had a fever and had a pretty nasty chest cold, but he did not test positive for the virus. They said that the sore throat and other things that he had indicated that it was a different kind of cold, so whatever I've got's probably whatever he had. I'm more likely, but there's some personal stuff going on. I've got a friend who is still in quarantine because his mother died. Was one of the people in that Kirkland old folks home that died. There was over 6 people there. And another friend of mine found out this morning that she had been exposed to a customer who had the virus. So it's kind of near and dear to my heart. Knock just found out the first case was diagnosed over in Detroit, which is a little while away from where he lives.
Yeah, we found out yesterday. I tweeted about it because, immediately, shit began to shut down here. They shut down most of the universities, and I think that there's talk of public schools shutting down.
Oh yeah, we've
Everybody's
already
freaking
got
the
a
fuck
2 week
out.
shutdown. We've already got a 2 week shutdown over at the Seattle School District. Seattle Public Schools are shut down. They've been talking about potentially closing down libraries and other things. King County declared a state of emergency over here, so they just bought up a hotel to quarantine people.
Yeah.
So, but there's some drama shit we kind of got to get out of the way before we can get too deep into the coronavirus stuff, which I posted the CDC website over in the side chat. This is all of the updating info. I'm going to post the evolving info from the World Health Organization as well. I also suggest that you check your state's Department of Health website because most of them have a page specifically for coronavirus where they keep stats in your state up to date so you can find out what counties it's in and what sort of things you can do to prepare. So we'll go into that in a sec. But there's been a certain pain in our ass who's been causing all kinds of fucking trouble, and you might feel better if you get to be pissed for a second, because I sure as fuck popped off in the comments section, which is not a very good look from me, but we'll talk about why. Go ahead, Knock.
Well, I mean, if you were here in my last stream, my solo stream, what I can't even really remember what I was talking about.
You were pissed off about Biden, and you were
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
Joe
like why
Biden. Yeah,
he's a whole ass problem,
I
which I
was doing
agree.
my rant after Bernie lost. So, and it played out like right in the middle of it. I got a text message from Matt Powell talking about how Misha Popoff sent him a email about how I'm a Christian now. And a lot of people have been getting these emails. Misha Popoff has been sending these emails to basically everybody, including my good friend Justin, that Christian vlogger, who has nothing at all to do with Misha Popoff, with drama in on my channel.
With drama
And
anywhere, really. Like,
yeah,
he's
drama
his own little
anywhere.
island.
Yeah, he's his own little thing, and so it drove me into a rage. I've been upset, and I just real quick pop off, motherfucker. I told you in that stream that you had started a war with me. I am going to. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on this channel. I'll probably end up doing it on my other channel. Just because it's smaller and I don't want to give you any recognition. But I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel about you, no holds barred. Exactly what I think you are, and you need to stop with these antics because it's really borderline harassment. And yeah, I'd like to hear what you think about it, Ali, because um, it's I'm not the only one hearing this. A lot of people are getting these emails, hearing about these emails, and I don't understand why you're going to tell people I'm a Christian when I'm clearly not.
I don't understand what the fuck he gets out of it. I mean, it looks stalkerish for one thing. It looks obsessive. Like, this talking to somebody who's got OCD, right? But like legitimately, it looks fucking obsessive. It looks desperate. And that's really what it is. It looks fucking desperate. Like that email, which by the way, I've seen those emails. I've seen every motherfucking one of them, Misha. I have. And even some of the ones that you didn't forward, I've seen a few of those too. Because we have friends in the community that reached out to us the second that shit landed in their inboxes. Because when you are spreading lies, guess what? Real friends will help each other. All right? Now, I told Misha exactly what the fuck I felt about him in like the comments section of one of your videos. And anybody who wants to go digging can figure out which one it is pretty fucking quickly. But the too long didn't read is like from my perspective, right? Like I don't have the sense of sin that you do. But lying is the core to every other kind of wrongdoing you can fucking do to a person. You have to lie to somebody else and deceive them in order to hurt somebody, and you have to lie to your fucking self to justify it to yourself that it's okay to do it. You went around and you lied to a bunch of our friends and allies, and you lied to a bunch of trolls. You brought harassment down to our shores. And then, Misha, when I called you out on it, you fucking tried to tag knock and ignore me. Because you knew I was telling the truth. You knew there was no way you could fucking deflect.
Yeah, I think he's tired of me ignoring him, so because I hardly ever respond to his crazy ass comments. He's like in every video now commenting, which is fine. I don't mind. Please come watch my videos. But the comments are just crazy. Keep getting that engagement.
The algorithm's going crazy for it, right? Like some of those videos has actually got bumped up because of all these damn comments.
Yeah, I mean it helps with the algorithm, so I don't really mind it too much. But like when you're lying about me, like when you're just straight up lying about me, right? I've never said that I'm not.
That,
the dude doesn't, and we're gonna get to coronavirus. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but like the dude doesn't even understand like the colloquial usage of the word atheist. The fact that I grant the possibility of a God would make me philosophically an agnostic. But I don't believe any God, in any God, so the answer to the question makes me an atheist. Like I think he's too fucking stupid to understand it. But even like with all of that said, in none of that at all is Nakasuchi's a Christian now.
Well, and he tried to obfuscate it in some of those emails by saying slowly becoming Christian. Or in the comment section, he changed it to, one step closer to Christian because you've admitted you're not an atheist. And it's like, that's not what those initial emails said. That's not what the one to Matt Powell said. And even slowly becoming Christian is a fucking lie. Knock has outright said he does not believe in the goddamn Bible. So anyway, we're going to get into coronavirus stuff in a second, but like Knock and I both wanted to kind of comment on this because again, like, Misha's pushing on harassment at this point. He's clearly desperate for fucking attention. Like, if it weren't helping us out in the algorithm, I'd be like, blow him the fuck off in the comments because, like, he desperately wants that attention and he's gonna keep bothering us until we give it to him. But the problem is that we ignored him and he decided to push so far that he started invading into the lives of friends of ours that are not involved in this community drama. That's why I popped off. That's what pissed Knock off. Like, it was one thing when it was just all the goddamn trolls and maybe a few atheists who aren't going to listen to you anyway because they'll go to Knock first. Like, it's quite another when you start reaching in, into people's inboxes outside the community. And then in that fucking email, there's also like this desperate attention grab. Like, hey, did you know Bohemian Rhapsody had these, like was actually an anti-gay message? And oh, did you know this? And oh, did you know that? Like, dude, like, you so obviously want to get in this guy's good fucking graces. Like, he's got a great platform. That doesn't necessarily mean he wants to bring hate on. And the fact that he tried to use a lie about you to get into Justin's fucking channel that's bullshit.
Well, I mean, my whole thing is that I don't run away from hate. So, I mean, if it was just the hate with Misha, that would be one thing. But it's the propaganda that he perpetuates in literary sources, and it's the behind the scenes, it's the incessant comments, it's it's now sending these emails to people. You know, like, I don't mind having a conversation with about your hatred, Misha, and if you'd have just played it like a normal person, I think that we would have ended up talking about it again. But this shit is it's, I mean, it's even crazier than Matt. You know, Matt has my phone number, and he's put out my first name. But as far as I know, he's never given away my phone number. He's never, sent my phone number to all these different NIFB people to blow up my number. He's never, like, gotten a hold of other people to lie about me. I mean, outside of, like, his own nifty circle, like Tommy McMurtry and shit, when he's lying about me crying and whatnot. But I don't know. It just seems a bit weird. Misha, and leave me alone because you're weird. But let's get to coronavirus.
All right. By the way, CK's back hanging out in the chat asking to come in. But I sent you. Did you pull up that Twitter post that had the clip in it? Because that's kind of where I wanted to start. Was this crazy shit?
Yeah, I meant to lead off with that because for some reason the comment didn't show up. CK on it still doesn't. It shows up on Ali's screen, but it doesn't show up on my screen. I'm not feeling very good today at all. Ali's going to just basically be talking about the coronavirus, and I'm going to talk a little bit. I am not feeling very good. We're going to 9 o'clock. I told Ali we have to stop at 9 o'clock. All I really want to do is sit here and be blah. It's really hard for me to think straight. I almost canceled the stream tonight. And I ended up deciding only, like, Ali, we're only going to do an hour. And then I'm going to, like, play a video game for an hour and go to bed. Because I am not feeling it today, dog. So we'll probably I'll probably maybe this Sunday. I don't have anything lined up this Sunday. So CK, if anybody else is interested in coming on and having an open room discussion, because I'm really hoping I don't have the coronavirus. I'm a little freaked out. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Yeah, Knox got some symptoms that kind of add up to he might want to go get tested if he's still feeling shitty tomorrow.
But hopefully Sunday we could have a longer, more in-depth discussion and bring people in for an open room talking about coronavirus. So I would send you that first invitation, CK.
So, just to give you guys a little bit... And
so you're not seeing my sick face, I'm going to probably have my camera off as well, guys.
You look like you're in a hospital gown.
It's my Rolling Stones t-shirt. It's like, I had so many plans today. I can't even tell you. Like, I was going to set it up, because I still need to set it up to where my camera is facing in a different direction. Kind of facing in the direction I want it facing. And all I did really was just play video games, and not even really play video games. I just kind of ran in circles thinking I was playing video games because I can't think fucking straight.
Yeah, I'm going to change your nickname back to Go to Bed Knock. But anyway, so to give you guys a little bit of background on this, and I'm going to be going over the wash your hands and all the other bits of info. I'm also going to be going over transmission rates and the people who are at the highest risk, which means the people, if you've been exposed to somebody who might have coronavirus, the people that you shouldn't go talk to or hang out with, basically. It's all information that I'm sure you've heard on 50 billion different YouTube channels, but there's a lot of misinfo that's kind of getting out there. So we wanted to go over that a little bit because, like I said, I'm in Washington State. I'm in the county where the first case was diagnosed, where the most deaths have occurred. It's literally in my neighborhood. One of my friends who runs the coffee stand got exposed to it from a customer today. And, is doing everything that she can, but she's taking her temperature every 3 to 4 hours because at any point over the next 2 weeks, she might come down with a fever, and she's got a blood disease. So she's in that high risk category of her immune system's fucked up. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to lead off with this bullshit clip. We've got Kenneth Copeland being an asshole.
Let me get it ready. So just a second. How am I going to do this? I'm totally not prepared.
Do a screen share through. It's a Naka stream.
Yeah, I'm totally not prepared. So let me pull up everything. Why'd you let me turn off Discord? I told you I was turning off Discord. Oh, I am fucking everything up now.
You said you were setting everything. You said you were setting
All right.
everything up. Like, I
Just a second.
trusted you.
Yeah, you shouldn't have. Let's move that back
Yeah.
over there. I don't know why. I moved that.
Oh, so it's my fault for trusting you. I see how it is.
Yeah. All right. So they're gonna see like all of my Discord shit. All right, just a second. All right, where are you at?
Oh, Lisa, it's worse than the silver shit. It's worse. He's still pushing that shit, but no, what we're about to play is worse.
All right, let me figure out how I'm gonna do this. I think we're okay to just do it like that. All right. I'm not showing anything I shouldn't be showing. So.
That could be taken so far out of context, Knock.
I know. All right, we're gonna get it started. I mean, I am totally not into it today, guys. So let me get to my full screen now. Voila! Cool. All right. So, told you guys, my brain it just is not functioning. Here's Kenneth Copeland being Kenneth Copeland.
Put your hand on that television set.
Yes, Lord.
Hallelujah.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. He receive your healing
Yes.
now.
Pausing it right there at 18 seconds, Allie. What's on his fucking hands?
It looks like some kind of, I don't know. It looks like some kind of like plastic wrap or something.
I mean, is Kenneth Copeland doing the
Like,
deed?
is that supposed to be holy water?
I mean, I don't know. I'm asking, like, is he even wearing pants? Is he jacking off and he forgot and he put up his hand? Like, what the fuck is on his hand?
I don't know. Like, I wonder if this is part of some kind of advertisement.
It looks slippery, oily, greasy.
Like Kenneth Copeland?
Is it Ben Gay? What color is Ben Gay?
I don't know.
Oh shit! All right, so we're gonna start it back up. Chad, do you know what the hell's on his hand?
I don't know. It looks messy.
Say it, I take it.
I take it.
I have it.
I have it.
It's mine.
It's mine.
I thank you and praise you. And
Yes.
I forgive if I have aught against any.
I forgive.
And I praise you that I'm well and whole.
I praise you that I'm well and whole.
Yes. According to the word of God,
According to the word of God.
I'm healed.
Yes.
And I consider not my own body.
Yes. Consider not my own body.
I consider not symptoms in my body.
I consider not symptoms.
All right, pause in. Breaking news: Kenneth Copeland has just been diagnosed with coronavirus.
Wow.
I feel better now. I don't know. I feel better. I'm not sick anymore.
Yeah, so, first off, this whole, like, what the fuck is on his hand? Second, we asked that question, like, I praise you for it. I thank you for it. Take it. Like, oh my god, that is so terrible. But, I want to bring this up because faith healers are starting to pull this shit.
Yeah, and we don't need to watch all of it. I'm going to go ahead and get us back to the regular screen and we can just start letting you talk about coronavirus.
Yeah, so faith healers are at this shit again. There is absolutely no current treatment for coronavirus. There's no antiviral that works. There's no fucking, like, essential oil that works. There's actually been...
All right, there we are.
There have actually been tests that have shown that some essential oils actually appear to cause microbes to explode in growth, which makes sense because there's biological compounds in them that they can digest. There is absolutely fucking nothing that anybody can do to help you overcome the coronavirus, except if you end up with severe respiratory illness, then a hospital can help treat you with things like breathing machines and stuff like that. You can take cold medicine to help make sure that the, like things like expectorants and such can help you to take care of the symptoms of it, but there is nothing that's going to fucking cure you. There's nothing that's going to stop it from hitting you. There's nothing that's going to make you immune to it. And if you know that a friend or loved one has it, or has been exposed to somebody who has it, they can transfer that shit to you when they don't have any symptoms. That's kind of what makes it the scariest, is it appears to be at least partially airborne, according to the CDC. If you're within 6 feet of someone who coughs, or even like when they spit when they talk or things like that, then you have a chance of picking that shit up. But these fucking faith healers, man, like, you've got psychics and shit that are claiming that they can magically rid you of coronavirus. You've got faith healers like this saying that you're going to be healed if you put your hand on the television.
Well, you got grocery, convenience store owners making homemade hand sanitizer, selling it for like $10 a bottle, and it's burning people's fucking hands.
You've got fucking, you've got real hand sanitizer flying off the shelves. You've got charlatans that are pushing colloidal silver, which is something that Kenneth Copeland also has done. Which colloidal silver, by the way, it'll turn your skin blue if you drink enough of it. It ain't gonna do shit for the rest. In fact, if you get enough silver in your system, you can get poisoned by it. It is a heavy metal. It can fuck with shit in your system. It's not gonna magically target some virus. It's going to get built up in your cells, and your cells are going to have a damn hard time getting rid of it. Now, I know that our audience tends to be the skeptic type. I know that our audience doesn't tend to be the sort of people that'll fall for this kind of shit, but it's still something that I want to call out in the community. Like, it's something that I want to call out is going on in this larger community, and it's something that, like, your family and friends, your paranoid anti-vax, cousin or aunt or whoever the fuck, like, those people need to hear this shit. They need to hear that there isn't some magic cure fucking anywhere. That if there was, do you not think that the Chinese government would not have distributed it to every single inch of the freaking country? Right?
Yeah, I think I've seen something like they're working on a vaccine, but a vaccine isn't a cure.
No, a vaccine can help protect you for if you haven't already been exposed. Which reminds me, they are. My partner actually got offered to be a part of the trial. Currently, Kaiser Permanente is running a clinical trial on a vaccine that is made from a bit of the proteins on the virus's surface. So they're actually, if anybody in like the Pacific Northwest has Kaiser Permanente insurance, they are looking for healthy people who do not have asthma, and they want, it's like 10 visits, I think, and you get paid $100 per follow-up visit. I don't remember how many shots they said it was, but they're experimenting with this vaccine right now. The clinical trials are going to last at least a year. But that gives you the kind of timeline that we're looking at for the potential fucking spread. Right? Like, well, this isn't going to get cleared up by the Olympics, more than likely. Like, this is something that's going to keep spreading, and it's going to get worse before it gets better.
So let's talk the spread. Because, I mean, my audience knows my political leanings, so I'm sure that there are Trump supporters out there that thinks that he's just done this great job with this. And I know they defend and talk a bunch of bullshit, but it seems to me that it's clear that he didn't take this seriously. And now the White House is saying that they're not going to roll back on their budget cuts for the what is it, CDC, GDC, whatever it
is. The Center for Disease Control, the CDC.
I think that, it's here now. We've seen Italy shut down a whole country, and you think that's insane when it's happening. You're like, fuck. And then,
they have over 10,000 cases there. Yeah. Like that, they're instituting curfews and closing borders is perfectly reasonable.
The next day, though, or the next 2 days after that, then you have first it was the NBA were going to play without fans, and then it was the NCAA tournament was going to be playing without fans, and now it's like, nope, cancel everything. I've seen governors talking about canceling church services, making it...
Actually, the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Mormon Church, I'm going to give them a tiny bit of credit here for being a cult. They act fast. They have canceled all of their services nationwide.
Yeah, it's because it's... any groups, large groups, I don't want to say what I do for a living on there, but I work in the public, and this is one of the reasons why I'm a little nervous. Like I think I'm just got maybe I'm hoping a 24-hour stomach flu. It's been a bad illness year for me, and I got sick last week. It never really quite cleared up, and today I feel just fucking awful. But if I'm in there's reason for me to worry because I do deal with the public and it is here now, and who knows how fast it can spread. I mean, really, Detroit's not that far away. It just takes one person that's been exposed to drive to Battle Creek, and so I'm a little nervous, but I think that we're gonna see this thing spread. It's here. It's gonna run its course, just like the flu does. It's gonna be worse, and I'm a prime candidate for the worst shit if I get it. I think my daughter might be with her diabetes. So yeah, it is a little nervous. But what do you think about the spread? Like, do you think it's just going to become like a flu now? Because I mean, it's out there. It hasn't been contained.
Well, the thing is it's different because the ways in which it spreads are a little bit different than the way that the flu does.
So do you think that Trump is right and it'll just die out in April?
I think that Trump is a fucking idiot. I'm the one who suggested calling him an orangutan in our stream that we did on him, and I still do not regret my decision. Trump demonstrated in his address just how little he actually understands about this. Like, clearly, he's not listening to his fucking experts at the CDC. And, he's not listening to the doctors and other things. He's not, like, he's trying to perpetuate xenophobia rather than actually addressing this real, like, nationwide, worldwide fucking health crisis. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, have a panic attack and think you're gonna die. Chances are the vast majority of people who get the coronavirus, right now, 97% of people that we know of, just by the current statistics, that get the coronavirus are fine. They get sick. They get better.
I guess that's what 3%. I'm asking. Like, do you think that we should panic and shut everything down like we're doing? Or should we just say, I mean, it's here now and just let it run its course? And I think that given, how can I explain this? I think that what cities are doing is probably a good thing. And I think that the reason for that is, like, in my house, for example, the guys, if one of them gets sick, they'll most likely be fine. In fact, one of them will probably be asymptomatic because he doesn't get sick very often with anything, and he ends up being a carrier where he's basically fucking Typhoid Mary. He'll come in without any sort of symptoms whatsoever, and then Steve and I will get sick, right? Mm-hmm.
But, like, the problem here is not the three of us. The problem is Nate. If one of us brings that shit home, if Nate gets sick, Nate has a depressed immune system. He's got a failing liver.
Yeah. Well, and
he could die.
That's the thing too, and that's what I've been hearing from young people because everybody's talking about this, and I work with a lot of young people, and they're saying, what, I don't really care if I get it, but if I get it and I give it to my grandmother, that's what I'm worried about.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. That's why these public gatherings needed to be shut down. Because, you're in close quarters. I don't know how many of you have been to a convention, but, like, if you go to a con, there's bodies pressed against bodies. You're in close quarters. This shit spreads in the air from your saliva within 6 feet of coughing or sneezing or anything else. And you as a healthy person wearing a mask, that does not protect you. Like, those masks are only for people who get sick because it'll stop the virus from getting through, or at least most of it, if it's a full coverage mask.
Yeah, SJ had tweeted about how her husband had went out and bought, like, I don't know, 40 boxes of masks or some crazy number. And I'm like, please listen to the scientists. The masks, will, if you're sick, get a mask so you can protect other people from your germs, but getting that mask isn't going to protect you from the virus.
But I mean, like, if it can also, if you cough, like within a few seconds, like if you're in a room with somebody and they're over 8 feet away, as long as you don't go like over there and rub your face on all of the surfaces they were sitting on and coughing on, you should be fine. Like, the idea of it getting into air circulating stuff, unless you're sitting under and coughing into the vent, the chances are that it's most likely not going to spread that way. There was one report of it maybe spreading that way, but there are no other reports that look like they match it. So they're not absolutely sure. What it does seem to spread with is close contact. If you cough on an elevator switch, guess what? Anybody who presses that button is now going to get that shit on their hands. Wipe your hands down with sanitary wipes after you touch anything communal whatsoever. If you go grocery shopping, wipe your fucking hands when you're done. Touching your face is like pretty much automatic. If you can
don't
wear
think about
gloves,
it when you're doing it.
if you can wear gloves when you're out and about, or if you have a hard time stopping yourself wearing gloves when you are interacting with things like, going grocery shopping, that can actually help a little bit, because you take those gloves off and then your hands themselves are not what got, contaminated potentially. So if you have those things at home already, like, that stuff can help. Don't go out and buy 50,000 boxes of fucking gloves, because, like, now that suggestion, you only need one. You know what I mean? And you only need them when you're going to be out in the contact with the public, so to speak. If you're going to be coming in contact with an apple that 10 other people might have picked up. You know what I mean? Like, this is common sense type stuff.
Yeah, so, in answering my own question, I think that it is a good thing having a bit of panic, and not so much panic, but just taking precautions.
Precaution and concern.
What I would hope from all of this is people just be more aware of their hygiene after this. Hopefully this can kind of ingrain it into them that you should be washing your hands all the time. I can't tell, I don't know how it is in the ladies' bathrooms, but in the men's bathrooms, motherfuckers don't be washing their hands. I mean, after they do their business and shit, it's nasty, and it's like, ugh.
Well, I mean, I don't know. For dudes, most dudes that I know don't wash their hands after they piss, but a lot of them do after they do the other thing. With women, it's a little different for us, because when you're wiping and stuff, you're gonna get shit on your hands. Like, sometimes literally, sometimes, just stuff. There's a lot of stuff to get on your hands. So I think it's more common, but I have seen women just walk right out of the bathroom. Like, we can be just as gross.
Germaphobe. I've always been kind of a germaphobe, so it could be, but it's just me. It's just, I just hope people
I'm validating your germophobia. I'm saying I've seen women just straight walk out of a bathroom. Like, we can be just as gross. And, like, women's bathrooms, like, you can find fucking bloody tampons on the floor and shit. It's gross.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nasty. Like, it's fucking nasty. It really is. Like, y'all don't know how to aim. Like, we have other problems.
So another thing that I've noticed, and I've really trying to be pushing back on, just conversations with people about this, because everybody's talking about this. Like, everybody's talking about this. And one of the things that I'm hearing a lot is, like, conspiracy theory shit. It's this happens every election cycle. This happens every 4 years, and they'll even bring out fucking maps pointing out specific viruses that happened in the election years or whatever. And it's like, you're gonna die. Stop. Or somebody is gonna die. Stop. Like, stop promoting this senseless information because your president looks bad, and just start admitting that this shit is bad and take it seriously. And maybe we won't. Maybe we can stop it before it does become a global pandemic. Right now, it's fucking bad. Who knows? I'm
pretty sure they actually announced that it is a pandemic. Already? Yeah.
Well, pandemic, but like global, like everywhere.
It's in the vast majority of countries at this point. Let me go ahead and take a look at the WHO's website. This is a good time to go ahead and take a look at the facts.
Yeah, go for it, because my head is definitely not thinking right.
You're still logged into Discord. You can put this up if you want to put this up really quick. This is the WHO's website. I'm going to go ahead and pull up their latest
I can probably
report.
Let me see. It messes everything up when I do that. I'm not set up to do it, Allie. Next time I'll use StreamYards for real.
Alrighty, well, let's see if I can go through and find it really quick. Because they have a section of their website where you can look at their daily incident reports for the coronavirus outbreak. They also have like information for healthcare providers and things like that. So, but they've been updating this site nearly every day. Like, it was 3 days ago was, I think, the last time they updated the Q&A. But let me go ahead and see, is it safe to receive a package? So I'm going to go through a couple of these Q&A questions, because I've actually gotten this question, or I've seen this question when PL was doing his streams. Is it safe to receive a package from any place where COVID-19 has been reported? The answer is yes. The likelihood of an infected person contaminating commercial goods is low, and the risk of catching the virus, which causes COVID-19 from a package that has been moved, traveled, and exposed to different conditions and temperatures, is also low. So if you're getting imported stuff, or if you're getting something from Amazon, you don't really need to worry all that much about catching it that way. The vast majority of the way that you're going to catch it is like through close personal contact with somebody who has it. So if you walk up to your best friend and your best friend's mom might have it, she might be a carrier. If you hug her or you're standing like really close to her when you're talking, that's how you're going to get it. And you're probably going to do that if you've been doing it for like, more than just a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm sick right now and if I have it right now, then I'm fairly certain that my daughter has it, her mom has it, everybody that's been close to me probably has it.
Yeah, like that's how you get it. But it says, like, how long does the virus live on surfaces? It's not certain how long. This is from the WHO website. It lives on surface, but it does seem to behave like other coronaviruses. Studies show that coronaviruses, including preliminary information on COVID-19, may persist on surfaces for a few hours or up to several days. It varies under different conditions, e.g. type of surface, temperature, or humidity. If you think a surface is infected, clean it with a simple disinfectant to kill the virus and protect yourself and others. Clean your hands with an alcohol-based hand rub or wash them with soap and water. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. And there was a reminder posted on from one of my friends who's a nurse. 20 seconds. That's about how long it takes to sing I'm a Little Teapot, right? If you're washing your hands for a shorter amount of time than that, then you might not be getting everything off of them.
Yeah, 20-30 seconds of your life every so often through the day isn't going to hurt you. Another thing that I have heard is the best way is soap and water. People are going out, they're buying all this fucking hand sanitizer, which is good. Go get a little bit of hand sanitizer, use it for
but keep
rare
it in
situations.
your fucking car.
Yeah,
like keep it in your car. Don't have it all over your house.
That's not gonna. You need to wash your hands. But there are people with medical conditions that actually do need hand sanitizer, and they can't fucking buy it because everybody's buying the fucking hand sanitizer. So stop freaking out. Like listen to what they're telling you and do the best resource. I'm not saying don't go buy a couple bottles of hand sanitizer, but don't go buy 25 of them, please. And toilet paper. Stop buying all the fucking toilet paper.
Yeah, I don't understand why everybody's buying all the toilet paper. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know.
All right,
they might be sneezing a lot. I don't get it either, but it's been a problem here. Like, people are complaining about it on Facebook. Like, can't buy toilet paper nowhere.
So here's things that you can do according to the World Health Organization, and I'll go post this Q&A from the WHO over in the side chat. But here are things you can do. Regularly and thoroughly clean your hands with an alcohol-based rub or wash them with soap and water. Why? Washing your hands with soap and water using an alcohol-based rub kills viruses that may be on your hands. Maintain at least 1 meter, 3 feet distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. When someone coughs or sneezes, they spray small liquid droplets from their nose and mouth, which may contain virus. If you are too close, you can breathe in the droplets, including the COVID-19 virus, if the person has the disease. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. We already covered that. Make sure you and the people around you follow good respiratory hygiene. This means covering your mouth and nose with your bent elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of the used tissue immediately. Stay home if you feel unwell. If you have a fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, seek medical attention and call in advance. Follow the directions of your local health authority. And it says why your local and national authorities will have the most updated information on the situation in your area. Call in advance to allow your healthcare provider quickly to direct you to the right health facility. Keep up to date on the latest COVID-19 hotspots, cities, or local areas where COVID-19 is spreading widely. If possible, avoid traveling to places, especially if you're an older person or have diabetes, heart, or lung disease. So, what happens if you've been in one of those areas and you start to feel unwell? What should you do? Follow the guidance outlined above. Plus, self-isolate by staying at home if you feel unwell, even with mild symptoms such as headache, low-grade fever, 37.3 degrees Celsius or above, and a slight runny nose until you recover. If it is essential for you to have someone bring you supplies or go out, e.g. to buy food, wear a mask and avoid infecting other people. Avoiding contact with others and visits to medical facilities will allow these facilities to operate more effectively and help protect you and others from possible COVID-19 and other viruses. If you develop fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical advice promptly, as this may be due to a respiratory infection or other serious condition. Call in advance and tell your provider of any recent travels or contact with travelers. Why? Calling in advance will allow your healthcare provider to quickly direct you to the right health facility. This will also prevent possible spread of COVID-19 and other viruses. Now, right now, House Democrats are trying to pressure the CDC to authorize funding for free COVID-19 testing, because people who don't have insurance, like Knock, like my friend who was exposed to the customer, they are scared to go into hospitals and into doctor's offices, or even like an urgent care, which is kind of an in-between for folks that are not here in the US. An urgent care, basically, like if you broke your foot at work and you're not bleeding out, that's where you go to get kind of on, like where you go to get your foot bandaged up type thing. Like if you don't want to clutter up the emergency room and you can get there, a urgent care has this kind of facilities that your doctor's office does, but they are cheaper, for one, than a hospital, and B, they can respond immediately. Basically, they have a triage system similar to the hospitals. You go in, you talk about your symptoms, and they get you in a line, in a queue, for as fast as possible to see a doctor. Some of them are even good. You can go in and register online for the queue before you even go, to see how long the wait and stuff is going to be. They're a really, really good resource if you either have insurance or you don't have insurance and you have one that does sliding scale payment plans. And they're a good way to get things treated that don't require a hospital, but, you know, are a little more immediate than what like your family doctor might be able to book for you.
Yeah, and you know, I think that this is going to get a lot worse. That's just my opinion on it. And I think that Congress and the White House, I hope, can get over some partisan differences, especially during an election year, and really come together, because certain industries in the economy are going to be really, really hit. If this gets bad, it's going to put us into a recession. There's going to be whole demographics of people. You're talking about your Walmart workers, your Target workers, your restaurant workers, people that work in the public, hospitals. Hospitals are going to have plenty of employment, but shit's going to shut down. People are already, I mean, like I said, it's been here for 3 days. People are already afraid to go out. They're afraid to do anything. They're afraid to touch or be around people.
Oh yeah, one of my partners works at the mall. He says it's been deserted for like the past week and a half.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are
His
going to be
hours are
affected
getting
by
cut.
this. So, I mean, hopefully it's short living, but I don't think the scientists are saying that. You know, Trump said a very stupid thing. Now a lot of people think that this is just going to be gone in April, and I don't think that's what the scientists are saying.
No, and again, it's going to be a year or more before we get a functioning vaccine. Like, we've got scientists working around the clock around the world. There's one that's being developed in Japan. There's one in Germany. There's one here in Washington. You know, again, Kaiser Permanente is putting out tests out here. You know, the UW is working on one. I read that Johns Hopkins was working on one. So, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's being done right now, but you know, like there's the celiac vaccine that's going on. It works very similar to the allergies vaccines, and that's going to be 2 years of clinical trials before they'll approve it.
The problem is, like, a lot of real people are going to be hurting, but the only thing I've heard about is like they're going to bail out the fucking fossil fuel industry because, you know, they're taking a hit, and the airline industry because they're taking a hit. I mean, no.
What about
shit's
all
gonna
the
get
fucking
real
small
messy.
business owners? What about my friend with the coffee stand who's scared she's not going to be able to make ends meet because she's had like maybe $200 worth of business in the past like week? That's fucking nothing if you own a coffee stand.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's really scary to me. Like it doesn't seem like the government, either side, is really taking this seriously. Now, the Democrats are coming out and they're trying to do something, but it's such a partisan atmosphere. Like, do you really, and I asked this of Ali earlier, audience, like, do you really think Trump and the Republicans are going to do anything that the Democrats want to do? They're talking about fossil fuel companies. That's who they want to help.
Well, and they were also talking about reducing payroll taxes, and it's like, how the fuck is that going to help anything?
I don't know. It's just crazy. I wish I could speak. So the reason why I'm scared a little bit, guys, and I don't think I have coronavirus. I'm putting that out. I've probably got a sleep deprivation problem, and I probably woke up with a chest cold. But those two things combined have me a little worried because they've matched the symptoms. So yeah, I mean, I kind of promised it. Like, if the fatigue and the chest shit is worse tomorrow, I'm gonna seriously consider going to get checked out. But I don't have insurance, so I mean that's a huge problem. And right now, the Democrats are voting against Medicare for all. Joe Biden said even if Republicans and Democrats were to send Medicare for All to his desk, he would veto it. So I mean, this should show you how important a universal healthcare system should be. You should be in the clear to go to the doctor in this situation, right? And not be wrong that you have it and go in fucking debt.
But I mean, like, not only that, like, there's been a bunch of memes and people are like, oh, you're politicizing a tragedy. Well, guess what? I'm going to politicize a tragedy as an anarcho-communist who hangs out here. Like, all of these things that people are scared of. What happens, if I have it and I get quarantined for 2 weeks and I lose my fucking house? That is something that, like, we had to look at. What happens if one of us gets it because one of my partners works in close quarters with other people, very close quarters, and the other one works at the fucking mall, right? And the, border has to go to a hospital that is currently quarantining over 15 people regularly for health checkups, right? So, and we're at the center of the outbreak. We have a very high chance of being exposed to this shit. If we get quarantined for 2 fucking weeks, like, how the hell are we supposed to pay our bills?
That would be devastating for me. Like if
it would be devastating for us. We might lose our fucking house.
I would probably lose everything. I cannot afford to miss 2 days of work, let alone 2 weeks.
Yeah. And like, okay, so there's there's paid sick leave and health insurance. There's, both of those things in one question, right? How can I afford to take time off of work? Because even if you don't get fired for having to miss those 2 weeks, like, you probably don't have paid vacation.
I know in Michigan,
most workers don't.
In Michigan, the governor made it to where you can't. They literally said if you feel ill, stay home, and employers can't fire you for it.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to be able to fire you for race or religion or sexuality either, and they find ways.
Yeah, and I mean, but naturally so, the managers at my job are asking, well, then anybody could use this. So if you're going to stay home thinking you have the coronavirus, you probably need to be going and getting checked for the coronavirus. I mean, that's what they're saying, and it's kind of legitimate, right?
Yeah, basically, like, so there's that. And, when you're talking about people, like, I saw a presentation to Congress earlier where, or from Congress to the head of the CDC, where they presented the costs associated with getting tested for coronavirus. Just the visit for the doctor plus the one blood panel would run the average person around $1,300. If you don't have fucking insurance, that is devastating. That's as much as like a monthly rent or a mortgage for some people.
That's just what I paid to get my car back, and that devastated me. So I don't have insurance. If I had to go and get a test for the coronavirus, hopefully the government would do something to help. But if they don't, that's a devastating blow for me, and if that's going to be a devastating blow for a lot of people if this gets worse and worse.
Well, and so if you talk about why we need single payer healthcare, guess what? In Britain, the NHS is taking care of this shit. In Britain, there's also a certain amount of like paid sick leave and paid vacation that is mandated by law, or at least that's what I've been told by my ex-partner who lives there. So there are protections for people who get sick. We don't have those here. There was at one point where one of our presidents tried to propose a workers' bill of rights, but then he got killed later on. I have no idea if those two things are related, probably not, but he was trying to do that for this sort of reason. Like, we have been, spoiled by vaccines to a certain degree, because we haven't had a real pandemic, like the Black Plague level pandemic. We had H1N1 and that came close. We had SARS and that came close. But like really where people are terrified that they and their loved ones are going to die if they're exposed the way that people are scared right now. Because of vaccines, we've lost what that fear is like. We have gotten comfortable as a country, and I'm talking to the people in the US here at this point. We've gotten comfortable as a country with if you're poor, you deserve to die. Now, I don't fucking believe that. But as a country, the people who argue against single-payer healthcare, that's the argument that they're making, whether they like it or not.
Yeah. And now it's, people are scared to go to the doctor for anything. I don't... Me and Allie was talking about, just how shitty I feel and... if I should go to the doctor, if I shouldn't, and I told her straight up, I'm like, I don't have insurance. I go to the doctor if I have to go to the doctor. Like, I got to have a broken leg, a lung falling out, something.
Yeah, and Lisa brings up the Spanish flu in 1917. Like, that was the last major thing that
maybe
we've
polio?
seen.
Wasn't polio a pandemic?
Yeah, polio was a pandemic as well. But again, polio, we've practically wiped it out with vaccines, right? Like measles, mumps, rubella. The only reason that those are coming back is because of anti-vaxxer moms that think their essential oils are going to protect them. Like, I keep seeing these, stories popping up on Twitter in places like, oh, this person says their oregano oil is going to fucking protect them. No, it's not. But you know what? Even washing your hands probably isn't going to protect you. It'll do something, and you should do it, but it's not going to protect you 100% because you won't know. And this is the scariest thing. You don't know who has been in contact with somebody who has it because it can take up to 2 weeks to actually present symptoms.
You don't even know
once
if you
it does,
have it and you're giving it to people.
Yeah, and 20% of people are asymptomatic. So you could end up a carrier. So right now, when people are talking about like isolating themselves and shit like that, your quote unquote paranoid friend who's like bleaching all the surfaces in their home after they have guests, or, these governors that are shutting down large public gatherings, there's a reason for that. Now, I really hope that things get better, but there's a good chance that even when we get into the summer months, there's still going to be concerns like this. Because the problem is that when people are indoors, that's, those indoor conditions seem to be the best for transmitting this stuff. Like social distancing, when people say wave instead of coming up and hugging or shaking hands or stuff like that, like take that stuff seriously. Try to stay 3 feet away from people if you're going to go be social. Like, do your best to protect yourself and your loved ones. Because again, it's not you that you're protecting for most people. Some of you guys are in the high risk factor. Some of you have severe asthma or autoimmune conditions or diabetes, or you're in the higher age gaps, higher age categories. You have every right to be worried. Don't you dare let anybody tell you that you're paranoid. But for the rest of us, those of us who are not in the super high risk categories, you're not protecting yourself. You're protecting your family. You're protecting your friends. You're protecting random strangers that you have never met. And that's the important thing here. Like, don't have a panic attack and freak the fuck out, because that's not going to help you. But if you decide to behave with caution, if you follow the advice that's being given out by the WHO and the CDC, and if you do the things that you need to do, we'll eventually have a vaccine and this will pass, and maybe it will become like the flu and come back. It appears to be genetically stable from everything that I've read. It doesn't look like it's rapidly mutating the way that the flu does. So it's pretty likely that this is going to hit and it's going to kill some people, and it's eventually going to be just one of those things that comes up very rarely, like H1N1 did, right? Like where it was a particular strain of the flu.
Right.
I have faith that we're all going to get through this, but just remember, your friends that are doing all that shit that they can to protect themselves, they're not being paranoid. They're protecting their loved ones. And remember to do that for yourself, too. Knock and I are both sick. We're both in areas where we might get exposed. He works in an industry where he could be exposed.
I think it's pretty much the whole country now. And
there are some states. There are some states that don't have very many cases.
I mean, Michigan was one of those few states until 2 or 3 days ago. So it's coming. It's gonna get worse, and hopefully it'll get worse, and then it'll get a lot better. But it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And I would reiterate what Ali is saying: stay calm and stay smart about it. I do want to wrap this up. I promised myself I'd be done at 10. I am struggling to concentrate. So again, I want to reiterate that hopefully I'll feel better tomorrow, and I'll wake up and have maybe a surprise stream with some surprise guests playing some video games. We'll see if that happens. But hopefully Sunday we'll take this back up again, and we'll open the room up, and we'll have a very broad discussion about what's going on in the country and the world with this virus. And hopefully I'll be more clear-minded for that one and not sick like I am tonight. So last word, Ali, and then we are going to get out of here.
So just the last word on this is, again, don't freak out. Don't have a panic attack. Being cautious is not the same thing as being anxious. You can take precaution. You can be safe. You can say, be cautious in case of like a tree branch falling on your house by saving up a little bit of extra money. It doesn't mean you need to go to sleep every night thinking about whether or not that tree is going to fall on your house. You know what I mean? And if you are having, struggles with your anxiety around things like coronavirus and such, there are resources to help with those sorts of things. If you can see a counselor or another professional, there are teleconferencing services that some of them will provide. Like my counselor has given me his phone number because he's in the risk factor category. So when I have meetings with him from now on, I'll be calling him, things like that. Like, make sure that you get help, lean on your loved ones, but just remember that your highest chances of being exposed are not out there in the wild, so to speak. If you're sitting in a hospital room and there's somebody coughing, 10 feet away from you, that's not the likelihood of you getting exposed. You getting exposed is most likely to happen because you touched your face after touching something in a public bathroom and you didn't wash your damn hands. So do some basic common sense stuff. If you or one of your loved ones gets sick, make sure you self-quarantine. Do everything you possibly can, and don't buy fucking masks unless somebody in your house is sick, because they ain't going to help you if you're healthy.
Well said. And again, CK, you get that first invitation, and anybody that would like to come on, and especially if you know someone that has been diagnosed with coronavirus, I would love to have you on for that discussion. So that'll be Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern. Until the next time, guys, thank you for joining us. Short one tonight. Hopefully I feel better tomorrow, and we will see you soon.